Family flow. Chen Shao traveled through the Douluo continent for decades and finally became a titled Douluo, but the system inexplicably activated. I'm almost invincible, are you here? Keywords of the novel. Douluo. Marrying Ayin at the beginning, creating the strongest family without pop-ups. Douluo. Marrying Ayin at the beginning, creating the strongest family. Download the complete text. Douluo. Marrying Ayin at the beginning, creating the strongest family. Latest chapter reading. Chapter 1. Title Douluo. Family System. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1 Title Douluo. Family System. Master, this is a gift from the Martial Soul Hall, as well as from the two empires and various major sections. Douluo Continent, near Haotian Island. The three characters, Sword Immortal Island, dominate the world. In the magnificent hall, a woman with purple hair and blue eyes, elegant temperament, is respectfully reporting. The leader is undoubtedly the owner of Sword Immortal Island. Chen Shao. The youngest title in the Douluo continent today is Douluo, Sword Immortal Douluo. She is also her life-saving benefactor. It also has a terrifying power that remains unbeaten in 7 battles. Therefore, the Martial Soul Hall has been trying to win over Chen Shao. After that battle, the major forces on the Douluo continent dared not easily offend the young Douluo who was given the title. Coincidentally, Chen Shao opened up Sword Immortal Island and established his own power, attracting countless forces to congratulate him. Chen Shao glanced at Purple Pearl, who was the pirate leader in the original work, and spoke calmly. Does the Martial Soul Hall still have the face to give me gifts? What is it? According to the gift list, the Martial Soul Hall has sent you 3 external soul bones, around 10 soul beasts from 50,000 years old, and over 100 soul beasts from 10,000 years old as a gift for opening up the Sword Immortal Island. And like the White Tiger Sect, what they bring is. Please elaborate on each Purple Pearl one by one. After listening for a while, Chen Shao immediately waved his hand and interrupted, except for the congratulatory gift from the Martial Soul Hall, which is quite acceptable, the gifts from other forces are not satisfactory. You can take them and use them. Purple Pearl listened for a moment and shook her head to refuse. Master, absolutely not. You saved my life. If it weren't for you, I would have died at sea long ago. Working for you is my honor. Chen Shao smiled and said, you are a management talent. It is very suitable for you to help me manage the affairs of Sword Immortal Island. This can be considered as a reward for you. Seeing Purple Pearl still wants to refuse. Chen Shao suddenly frowned and said, why don't you want to help me manage Sword Immortal Island? Purple Pearl quickly waved her hand and knelt down, no, I will obey my master's orders. Okay, you are also a level 69 Soul Emperor now, and you are just one step away from becoming a Soul Saint powerhouse. Among those 50,000-year-old soul beasts, choose a suitable one and make it your 7th soul ring. If it's not suitable, tell me and I'll kill a soul beast that's been around for 50,000 to 60,000 years. Purple Pearl was deeply moved upon hearing this. Chen Shao is nominally the master, but he has always been good to her. And there has never been much host arrogance, let alone making things difficult for her. This has made her increasingly satisfied with this job. After all, Chen Shao is the youngest titled Douluo in the mainland. He couldn't even defeat the 7 titled Douluo dispatched from the Martial Soul Hall, so he had to give up in the end. Now that he has opened up Sword Immortal Island, there will surely be strong men gathering in the future. Chen Shao now allows her to manage the affairs of Sword Immortal Island, which is an absolute trust in her. This made her very happy. I've been traveling to Douluo world for almost 30 years, haven't I? After nearly 30 years of cultivation, I finally became a titled Douluo with decent speed, but how should I spend the rest of my life? Chen Shao sat high in a high position, leaning over with a thoughtful gaze. Think about the future path. He is a traveler of the 21st century who unexpectedly arrived at Douluo world 30 years ago. Due to his thorough reading of the original work, Qin Shao found various soul rings for his sword immortal, martial soul. This also turned Qin Zhao's martial soul into an all-around martial soul. Control, agility, strong attack. It is also because of his mysterious and unpredictable methods that he was able to advance the battle title Douluo during the Soul Douluo stage. Later, he unexpectedly met Poseidon on the sea god island and helped her repel the siege of the martial soul hall, and even killed a title Douluo. The friendship between the two gradually deepened, and in the end, they teamed up to kill a giant whale king as the 9th soul ring. Although Qin Zhao's current strength is only at level 92, his combat power cannot be underestimated. Even a senior title Douluo at level 97 may not be his opponent. Ding! The God family system has been successfully activated. Host Qin Shao, Cultivation. Level 92 title Douluo, Force. Sword Immortal Island. At present, there are already confidants. Poseidon, Ayin. Family system. Qin Shao rolled his eyes, feeling depressed and speechless in his heart. Why have I been banned from Douluo? Your old sick system just came. Once upon a time, Qin Shao Duo hoped to have a golden finger and make a comeback to become the pinnacle of strength. But he waited all the way for 30 years and became a title Douluo. Okay, here comes the dog system. Ding! The host has been detected to be full of resentment, and the system will reward a mysterious gift package. Qin Shao narrowed his eyes slightly and said, "Are you trying to bribe me?" Ding! Douluo continent is just the starting point of the host, your endpoint should be the Starry Sea. Qin Shao thought for a moment and said calmly, "Don't talk nonsense, tell me what functions you have." The God family, as the name suggests, is the establishment of the host's own family, where everyone becomes a god. Any of your descendants' talents, abilities, and so on can be replicated to the host. Qin Shao listened for a while and finally understood. I understand, it's about building an immortal golden family. The next second, the system panel changes again. Ding! The system has selected a female confidant for the host. The host can choose one, get married, have children, and form their own family. Red Beauty Friend No1 Ayin. The incarnation of Blue Silver Emperor, the mother of Douluo male lead Tang San, and the degree of marriage with the host. 99.9% Qin Shao was taken aback. A few years ago, he accidentally met Ayin on land, but later got separated due to some accidents. I haven't met you yet. The system actually, Poseidon. High Priest of Sea God Island, a beautiful and powerful female powerhouse, with a marriage degree of 98% with the host, Qin Zhao's heart twitched. Poseidon, as the High Priest of the Sea God Island, is not only powerful, but also a peerless goddess. Even men would be tempted to see her. Now it seems that Poseidon also has a favorable impression of him. Thinking of this, Qin Shao grinned. Ding! System new task. Please marry Ayin as soon as possible, reward the Blue Silver Emperor's martial soul, randomly reward 500,000 your soul rings, and attach soul bones externally. For Ayin, Qin Shao said it's impossible to have a good impression. Besides, there are such generous system rewards. It's been 3 years, and I don't know where Ayin is now. Qin Shao shook his head. When I first met Ayin, he had just broken through the soul ring and hunted for the 7th soul ring in the Sunset Forest. Because of a kind act, Ayin was saved. The two became destined from then on. Ding! The Red Beauty Friend location service has been enabled for the host, and the host can use the location search function. Upon hearing this, Qin Zhao's heart moved. Search for Ayin's location immediately. Ayin's location is in the kingdom of Barak, Soto City. Seeing this, Qin Shao smiled slightly. It seems that the first cornerstone of the family will start with Ayin. Immediately, he made a big move and called for Purple Pearl. "Master, what are your instructions?" Qin Shao spoke calmly and said, "Hello, manage Jianxian Island well. I have only one requirement. Jianxian Island does not accept garbage. Regarding talent recruitment, you must strictly control it." Purple Pearl nodded as she listened. "Yes, master. I will be away for a few days. Please be careful and handle it. I really can't handle it. Wait for me to come back." "Yes." End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Little Licking Dog Tang Hao. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. Little Licking Dog Tang Hao. "Tang Hao, please don't follow me anymore. I want to be alone and take your things back." Outside the city of Soto, in a village. A beautiful woman dressed in blue with an elegant temperament flashed a hint of displeasure in her eyebrows and said helplessly. But beside her was a very handsome young man, with a face full of greed and admiration. "Ayin, I didn't mean to pester you. I just saw that you were living too hard. Please take these soul coins and consider them as the ones I lent you, okay?" The man even spoke with a pleading tone and a perfect licking dog posture at the end. If the people of Haotian Sect saw his appearance, they would definitely be shocked to the ground with their chin. The man's name is Tang Hao, and he has a direct lineage as the head of Haotian Sect. He is highly likely to inherit the position of the head in the future. Moreover, Tang Hao has extraordinary talent. In his 30s, he already possesses the strength of Soul Douluo. In Douluo continent, he is already a great master. He usually has a high heart rate, and ordinary women cannot catch his eye. However, 2 years ago, when he went on a trip to the mainland, he unexpectedly met the beautiful Ayin. Tang Hao fell in love at first sight and later became obsessed with pursuing her. "Tang Hao, let me say it again. I won't take your things, and besides, I enjoy my current life. Please leave. If you do this again, our friends won't have to do it in the future." Ayin didn't give Tang Hao any face at all. As an elegant and gentle person like her, she was also entangled with anger, with a cold tone in her tone. She is in the form of a blue-silver grass and needs to be a real person in order to have the opportunity to break through the title Douluo and even become a god. Previously, seeing Tang Hao as a good person, I met him first and second, and he became a new friend of humanity. However, since Tang Hao began to express his feelings and openly pursue her, she began to feel disgusted and decisively refused Tang Hao's kindness. However, she underestimated the extent to which Tang Hao had thick skin. She has been persistently fighting, making her never tire of it. Moreover, she heard that Tang Hao has a wife, and he doesn't care about his wife's life or death, but he is very attentive to her. This makes Ayin even more repulsive and repulsive. But this is the human world, and she doesn't want to cause trouble, so she has been enduring it until now. Recently, Tang Hao has become increasingly excessive, even almost crazy, which has prompted her to consider moving. Upon hearing Ayin's words, Tang Hao was clearly taken aback and his heart was filled with disappointment. He hung his head, his eyes suddenly becoming cloudy, his face slightly twisted, and his heart full of unwillingness. He is the proud son of heaven and the future leader of Haotian Sect. In a few years, he will definitely be a titled Douluo. How noble! He, who has always been highly praised by women, has repeatedly suffered losses in front of this woman, which has made him feel angry. Even several times, he had the idea of forcibly plundering Ayin and returning to Haotian Sect. But soon, he gave up such thoughts and had to make Ayin willing in order to have a sense of achievement. Thinking of this, Tang Hao lifted his head and smiled. "Since that's the case, we can be friends for now. I'll say goodbye first." Tang Hao put down his things and quickly left. Upon seeing this, Ayin picked up the things and casually threw them into a room. The room was already filled with various gifts, with a thick layer of dust falling on top. These are all gifts from Tang Hao, and Ayin hasn't seen any of them. Bang! In a bar in Soto City. Tang Hao threw the wine glass in his hand with a fierce expression on his face, spat out a mouthful of alcohol, and cursed. Where did I treat her so badly? I can't believe I don't like her, damn it. No, I must take her down. After getting drunk, Tang Hao completely exposed his fox tail. He embraced the two seductive and revealing women around him, waving his hands up and down. Young master, please calm down. What's good about those rural women? Pop. Before the woman could finish speaking, she was slapped and thrown out by Tang Hao, landing on the ground, trembling and afraid to fart again. Young master, I think she's willing to be friends with you, which means she doesn't really dislike you too much and still has some feelings. Another woman quickly spoke up, you should create an opportunity yourself, such as finding someone to deal with her, putting her in danger, and then come out as a hero to save the beauty. Upon hearing this, Tang Hao couldn't help but brighten his eyes. Your idea is good, it can be considered as an inspiration for me. I will take good care of it later, and it will not be without your benefits. The woman immediately flattered and smiled, it's my honor to serve the young master. Without waiting for her to speak, Tang Hao pressed down her head. Stop talking nonsense, once something is done, there will be a heavy thank you. Soon, Tang Hao began to close his eyes and enjoy himself. 2 days later. Tang Hao quietly arrived at the village where Ayin was located with a few experts. Young master, rest assured that I, Titan, guarantee to complete the task. The speaker was a tall and burly old man, who was the sole Douluo of the powerful clan under the Haotian Sect. Level 85 Strong Attack Series. The strength is quite good. Tang Hao nodded and said, go ahead, be careful not to expose your identity. I really don't know what this woman thinks. Even the young master of the Haotian Sect doesn't like it, and his mind is flooded. Another skinny old man spoke up, clearly a strong member of the Min clan. 81 level sensitive attack system. Shut up. She is the future leader's wife, how can you criticize her? Tang Hao snorted coldly, causing the two powerful soul fighters to tremble and plead guilty repeatedly. Let's all go and follow the plan. Yes. Tang Hao watched as several strong men moved out, his heart began to get excited, as if he saw the scene of Ayin lying in his arms, thanking him for his life-saving kindness. Boom. Soon, there was a wave of fighting in the village. Obviously, they have already taken action. Who are you? Ayin's face was solemn. The room behind her had already been destroyed by several moves from the people in front of her. If it weren't for her vigilance just now, she would have been injured long ago. This room was the place where she first met that man, and although she later got separated, she never left. She always believed that the man would come to find her. I will definitely do it. However, before waiting for that man, Tang Hao and these Soul Douluo arrived. Hehe, you have some strength, but that's all you have. A powerful member of the Power Clan, the Titan embraces his chest with both hands and allows the vines of the blue silver emperor to wrap around him. Subsequently, he sneered and struggled to break free, causing the vine to be torn apart. The difference in strength is too great. One level 85, one level 66. The difference between the two is not even the slightest. Seeing this, Ayin's eyebrows couldn't help but twist together, as if facing a great enemy. I don't think I know you guys, why did you come and kill me? As soon as these words were spoken, the Titans couldn't help but burst into laughter. You, a Soul Emperor who is not registered at level 66, suddenly came to Soto City for seclusion. We suspect that you are an enemy spy, so it is reasonable to kill you. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Sorry for coming late. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. Sorry for coming late. White Crane said this, and Titan also said calmly, Soto City is a border city of the Heavenly Do Empire. Don't be careless. This is also the place where our powerful tribe lives. We don't want you here. Upon seeing this, Ayin took a deep breath and said coldly, "Since that's the case, I'll just leave. TSK, come if you want, leave if you want, how could there be such a good thing?" White Crane sneered, and the sharp-tailed swallow's martial soul condensed behind him. He was extremely fast, almost in the blink of an eye, and rushed to Ayin's face. Ayin's face slightly changed, and countless blue-silver vines rose from the ground beside her, winding towards the White Crane. Boom! At this moment, the Titan's heavy fists fell to the ground, causing the ground to instantly crack open. The terrifying force enveloped the powerful soul power and charged towards Ayin's side. The blue-silver vines were shattered one after another. Puzzy! The palm of the White Crane was like a sword, slicing over Ayin's shoulder and tearing her apart, with blood pouring down her spine. Seeing this situation, Tang Hao in the distance felt extremely heartbroken and was eager to take action to save the beauty with a hero. Boom! At this moment, a massive pressure solidified the entire space, and the entire village was powerless to move or even breathe. What? Titan's face changed dramatically, and a strong sense of unease rose in his heart. This terrifying aura could not match even the many tidal Douluo he encountered. And he felt like a mountain on his back, making it difficult for him to move. The White Crane, also known as the Soul Douluo of the Min Attack series, had a sudden change in expression. His soul power was suppressed and his body became much slower. Has a tidal Douluo come? Hiss, not good, the other party has a killing intent. 2 Soul Douluo and 4 Soul Saints were trembling at this moment. In front of this momentum, they felt like tiny ants. Tidal Douluo. At this moment, Ayin's face was also pale with fear. She was a soul beast, transformed into a humanoid soul beast. If she was killed, the other party could obtain a 100,000-year soul ring. Moreover, her true identity cannot be hidden in front of the tidal Douluo. Boom! A figure quickly approached, and wherever it passed, a gust of wind swept through. The 4 Soul Saints screamed and their bodies were torn into countless pieces. This scene made the White Crane and Titan pale with extreme fear. They actually provoked a tidal Douluo, and without saying a word, they directly targeted the assassin. Tidal Douluo. A flower fluttered in front of Ayin's eyes, and the tidal Douluo appeared in front of her, very close to her, looking so tall. However, even in person, she couldn't even sense the terrifying aura of the tidal Douluo in front of her. Instead, it gave her a sense of peace of mind. Quickly, Ayin regained consciousness and felt the familiar aura. Her heart trembled as she looked at the man in front of her with a face on his face. Her eyes were a bit blurry, and her voice was trembling. "Yes, is that you?" Then she only heard the man in front of her say in a somewhat hoarse voice, "I'm sorry, I came late and hurt you." Qin Shao suppressed his furious killing intent. He gently raised his hand and placed it on Ayin's injured shoulder, using his 4th soul skill. The healing light began to heal the wound on Ayin's shoulder. Ayin was originally a bit uneasy. After all, soul beasts and humans are naturally hostile. For the past 3 years, she was unsure if the man in front of her would covet her soul ring. However, the soul beast was the most sensitive, and she felt Qin Zhao's incredibly gentle emotions, which made her feel even more at ease. "Really, it's really you. Woo-woo." Ayin couldn't bear it anymore. The agony, grievances, and longing in her heart suddenly popped up. What, she actually has a man, this despicable woman. In the distance, Tang Hao was shocked by Qin Zhao's appearance and saw 2 people hugging each other, making his face turn pale. He felt like he had been turned green. At this moment, he heard Qin Zhao speak the coldest words in the gentlest voice. "I'm here, don't worry, wait a moment, I'll go kill a few people." Boom! He hadn't reacted yet, just as Qin Zhao's voice fell. Qin Zhao's body instantly erupted with a thunderous force, directly hitting the Titan. With a loud bang, the Titan let out a mournful scream. He felt like he had been hit hard, and on his back, one could see his body skeleton protruding. Titan coughed up blood in his mouth, feeling fearful and desperate inside. Because under Qin Zhao's attack, his soul power was completely destroyed, and his meridians were completely severed. Title Douluo crown, this is all a misunderstanding. The white crane screamed and struggled frantically, looking at Qin Zhao with fear, feeling extremely remorseful. Why bother to provoke him? He was actually complaining about Ayin in his heart. You have such a powerful man, why don't you speak up? Why? Let us suffer such a blow. Qin Zhao didn't speak much, but with a flick of his finger, a sword-like soul power pierced through his heart in an instant. The white crane's face froze instantly, and its voice abruptly stopped, no longer struggling. All the vitality inside the body has been cut off. At this moment, 2 soul Douluo and 2 soul saints were lost. This scene can be regarded as a shocking event of the Tiando Empire. Spare me, spare my life. Lord Crown, please spare your life. This was all instructed by Tang Hao. Tang Hao of Haotian Sect. The remaining 2 soul saints were frightened to the point of splitting their liver and gallbladder, kneeling on the ground and repeatedly kowtowing for mercy. At this moment, they were no longer towering soul saints, but ordinary people shaking their tails to beg for mercy. Upon hearing these words, Ayin exclaimed in surprise and then turned pale. She is also a smart person, and she immediately thought of the reason behind it. At this moment, Qin Zhao raised his eyebrows and said, Tang Hao. His powerful perception roared in all directions. Quickly, he caught a contra running towards the distance. It's Tang Hao. I didn't expect you, Tang Hao, to be such a person. Qin Zhao's gaze had already locked on Tang Hao, and he said calmly. The 8th soul skill, 10,000 swords facing the sky. While countless sword rain, like arrows, roared towards Tang Hao's side. Ah! In an instant, a mournful scream came. Title Douluo, is it actually a title Douluo from the martial soul hall? Feeling the vast sword rain surging like a tide behind him, Tang Hao's face turned pale and his heart was greatly shocked. There are not many titles of Douluo on the Douluo continent, and the strongest title of Douluo using swords is the swordsmanship of the 7 treasures in glass sect, Chen. But that person is clearly not. And that person was so dominant that he thought he should be a title Douluo from the martial soul hall. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Madman becomes Scum Man. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. Madman becomes Scum Man. Damn it, the martial soul hall is really domineering. Tang Hao let out a loud shout, revealing all 8 soul rings on his body. Qianjun barrier. He let out a furious shout, and a surge of soul power enveloped his whole body. In the blink of an eye, it turned into an iron wall, enveloping himself. However, Qin Zhao is also the 8th soul skill. Although it is shrouded at a long distance and exceeds the limit distance, its power is slightly weakened, but it can still easily defeat Tang Hao's 8th soul skill. Shoo, 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 a very piercing sound of breaking the wind blew past Tang Hao's ear, causing him to be horrified. It was only because these sword lights could easily penetrate his 8th soul skill. The 1,000 June barrier, and flew past him in an instant. Although he had quickly dodged, his body was still covered in sword scars and wounds. Gradually, he felt increasingly tired, and his body was completely flawless, looking like a lost dog, in a state of embarrassment. Title Douluo crown, I am Tang Hao of Haotian Sect. Are you really going to oppose me for a woman? Tang Hao felt very scared in his heart, forcing him to report his own family, hoping to make the other party wary and let him go. After a moment, the sword rain attack around seemed to gradually weaken, which made Tang Hao feel very happy. It seems that the other party is still wary of his identity. However, at this moment, Tang Hao heard a cold laugh. The outstanding battle soul hammer, majestic Haotian Sect, as the successor of the first sect, is not inferior. Unexpectedly using such despicable means to deceive a woman. You really, that's it. Upon hearing this, Tang Hao's face immediately became extremely ugly, and he could hear mockery from the other person's tone. Boom! Suddenly, he felt a breath of death coming towards him. Instantly made his hair stand on end, feeling a deadly threat he had never before. In that moment, there was an ice thorn that quickly passed through his bottom. There was a popping sound. Tang Hao was slightly taken aback and slowly lowered his head to look, only to see a bright red flowing between his legs, with scattered ice residue covering it, making him not feel any pain. However, he saw 2 inches of familiar flesh lying quietly on the ground. Ah! Suddenly, Tang Hao let out another painful scream, his pale face full of ferocity, and his eyes glared at Qin Shao with a gloomy expression. You scumbag, how dare you depose me? If he had been injured elsewhere, he wouldn't have been so angry, but the other party directly made him lose his children and grandchildren, which is simply insulting him. Oh, what if you're fired? I am eliminating a calamity for the women of Douluo continent. As he finished speaking, Qin Shao suddenly appeared in front of him, holding Ayin, whom he had been thinking about day and night. He stood in the air with a contemptuous look, as if looking at an ant. Boom! In the next moment, an extremely terrifying pressure spread from Qin Shao's body. In an instant, Tang Hao collapsed to the ground and was even more trapped, unable to move. So, that's the difference between the title Douluo and the soul Douluo. Moreover, Qin Shao is a nearly omnipotent title Douluo, and even with the joint efforts of many title Douluo in the martial soul hall, he cannot defeat him. Who are you, and why are you insulting me so much? Tang Hao's head was pressed tightly against the ground, and he spoke with some difficulty. In addition to being frightened, he forced himself to calm down and regain some rationality, only to suddenly realize that the other party seemed not to want to kill him, but was unwilling to let him go. Qin Shao calmly said, "Isn't that how you treat others?" Qin Shao has a wise soul bone, which can penetrate the human heart, understand the opponent's weaknesses, and even their past. Through this soul bone skill, Qin Shao was surprised to find that this Douluo continent seemed to be slightly different from the original work, as Tang Hao had a wife. But he has a promiscuous nature and does not want to be constrained by the sect, so he borrowed the reason of going down the mountain to experience and eat, drink, and have fun outside. I don't know how many women have been harmed, but every time I get my hands on them, I feel bored and just pick up my pants and don't recognize anyone. Moreover, he has always had a smooth journey since childhood, standing at a high place from birth, and this has always been smooth sailing, causing him to act recklessly. He is a mediocre person who dares not cause trouble and speaks wildly. To commit crimes in the Douluo continent. However, many times he hides himself. But for Qin Shao, these have nothing to do with him. He just hates Tang Hao's actions, so he doesn't have a murderous heart towards Tang Haosheng. Just because Qin Shao felt that killing Tang Hao would dirty his hands and make him nauseous for a while. Rather than killing him, it would be better to torture him like this, depose him, and stomp him hard on the ground, in order to satisfy people's hearts. Your Excellency, my Haotian sect has many titles and titles. My grandfather is Tang Chen, and my father is Tang Wei. Tang Hao couldn't help feeling frustrated and shouted softly. Qin Shao raised his eyebrows slightly and said, "Your father." Oh, yes, your father hasn't died yet. In the original work, his father Tang Wei was infuriated to death by him. Just because he abandoned his sect for Ayin and committed many mistakes. But for now, this has not happened, so his father Tang Wei has not been angry to death and is still alive. Wow! A faint light flashed in Qin Zhao's eyes, and he instantly learned about his father's information through Tang Hao. Tang Wei, level 95 title Douluo, title Raging Thunder. And when Tang Hao heard Qin Zhao's words, he felt even more aggrieved. What does it mean that his father hasn't died yet? Is this kid so eager for his father's death? My Haotian sect still has Tang Hao spoke again, wanting to say how powerful the Haotian Sect was. Are you trying to say that your Haotian Sect has 6 titled Douluo, and you and your elder brother Tang Xiao are also preparing to become titled Douluo? However, Qin Xiao was already familiar with everything. At this timeline, Haotian Sect has 6 titled Douluo, Tang Hao's father Tang Wei, and 5 elders, all of whom are titled Douluo. But several of the elders were already on the brink of death, half dead. Of course, Qin Xiao didn't care at all. What exactly do you want? Qin Xiao never looked up to him, which made him feel very frustrated and angry. How could the proud son of the Haotian Sect ever receive such insults? Qin Xiao's face remained expressionless as he slowly lifted his right palm. A thunderous force surged in his hand, causing Tang Hao to widen his eyes and show a hint of fear. Is this guy really going to kill him? Despite his immense frustration, he felt invincible. But when facing this moment, he is still very afraid. Brother Xiao, why don't we just forget about it? At this moment, Ayin stepped forward to stop Qin Xiao and whispered, Brother Xiao, I know you are very strong, but Haotian Sect is powerful. She hugged Qin Xiao's arm, with a hint of concern in her eyes. She also knew that her identity as a soul beast had been exposed, but she was still more worried that Qin Xiao might implicate the Haotian Sect. After all, Haotian Sect is the first sect in the world. Not bad, I am the first Jinjiao of Haotian Sect. If you dare to kill me. Boom. When Tang Hao saw Qin Xiao not speaking, he knew that Ayin was worried about these things and immediately began to be arrogant. However, before he could finish speaking, a thunderous force fell on him in an instant, causing him to feel his muscles and bones to crack, and he couldn't help but scream in agony. Bipolar prohibited areas. But at this moment, a sharp voice came. In an instant, time seemed to have come to a stop, and the scattered fallen leaves were all confined in mid-air. Qin Xiao's eyes lit up and he glanced at the soul rings that suddenly appeared on the other side, entwined together. Did the martial soul hall actually take action? The 9th soul skill. Sword Immortal Realm. At this moment, a cold voice came from Qin Xiao's mouth. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. The Battle of Tidal Douluo. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. The Battle of Tidal Douluo. Boom. The words fell to the ground, with Qin Xiao as the center, a white light swept towards the surroundings. In the area it passed, the trapped fallen leaves drifted down one after another, and it was even clear that the space was gradually crumbling, turning into a burst of light and rain fragments floating down. This is the domain. Seeing this, Tang Hao was dumbfounded. This is the power of different fields, but each has its own differences and is even more difficult to obtain. Each type of power in the relevant field is extremely strong. He never expected that this person would also have it. What? Surprisingly, it's you. At this moment, in the secluded area of the forest, the sharp voice came out again. Boom. Immediately after, there was another golden light shield that instantly covered a kilometer range around, and there were bursts of thunder. 2 streams of light fell somewhere in the forest, exposing the 2 individuals hiding in the darkness. One person was dressed in black and had a tall figure, while the other was dressed in feminine charm. The 2 of them are Ju Douluo and Gue Douluo from the Martial Soul Hall. Moreover, only the 2 of them can unleash the bipolar forbidden realm of temporarily confined space. A chrysanthemum, a little ghost, have you forgotten how you escaped from my hands back then? Qin Xiao hugged Ayin and swept forward, quickly approaching Ju Douluo and Gue Douluo with a surprised expression and frightened eyes. Damn it, isn't this guy overseas? When did he come back? Surprisingly, it's really him. For a moment, both Ju Douluo and Gue Douluo felt regretful. Just now they thought that this person was just a wild tidal Douluo who did not obey the Martial Soul Hall, so they wanted to take advantage of the situation and take him away, making him submit to the Martial Soul Hall. At the same time, it is also possible to make good friends with Tang Hao through this opportunity. In order for Tang Hao to become the head of the Haotian Sect in the future and then subdue the Haotian Sect. In this way, it can be said that it is a win-win situation. But they didn't expect that this wild, title Douluo was actually sword immortal Douluo. 2 years ago, Pope Qiang Sunji of their martial soul hall, along with 6 title Douluo and the 2 of them, went to subdue this sword immortal Douluo. But he never expected to be defeated and run away in front of this man. The casualties were severe. Even more, it made the martial soul hall lose face. Now, unexpectedly, I met you here. Run quickly. Ghost Douluo was extremely frightened, and with a trembling roar, it quickly turned into dozens of ghostly shadows about to flee. Looking at the speed of Ju Douluo, he is also not slow and is breaking away from the realm of sword immortals at an extremely fast speed. Little did they know that Qin Zhao's sword immortal realm would move with his movements. And in the realm, Qin Zhao is the strongest existence, and everything in the realm is dominated and controlled by him. Damn it, he seems to be stronger than before. His field makes me feel like I'm stuck in a quagmire. At this moment, Douluo felt as if he was in the deep sea, covered in immense pressure, making it very difficult for him to move, like a mountain pressing on him. The same goes for Chrysanthemum Douluo on the other side. His strength is weaker than that of Douluo. For this reason, he was sandwiched between Ghost Douluo and Qin Zhao, feeling like a thorn in his back. He looked back and saw Qin Zhao holding a long sword, getting closer and closer to him, as if as soon as he approached, he would stab him with a sword. And the sword he saw was exactly Qin Zhao's martial soul. It is engraved with the bright moon and starry sky, mountains and rivers, plants, birds and beasts. And, this martial soul is very special. Qin Zhao kills one soul beast each time and transforms it into a soul ring. It will light up the corresponding scenery engraved on the martial soul. Moreover, his soul skills seem to emanate from the scenery illuminated above this martial soul, so there is no soul ring limitation. The meaning is that Qin Zhao, at the soul Douluo level, even though he is the first soul ring, can still unleash the power of the 8th soul skill. The 10 core competencies of martial soul mentioned by the original master Yu Shaojiang are particularly in line with his sword immortal martial soul. Meanwhile, there is also great compatibility. He can kill various soul beasts and transform them into different soul rings. This also resulted in Qin Zhao being the only omnipotent martial soul in the mainland. The 6th soul skill. Thunder Roar. Qin Zhao let out a soft shout, as if a desperate sound, making the 2 titled Douluo feel closer to death. Roar. I saw Qin Zhao lightly flick the sword immortal's martial soul in his hand, making a sound like a bell, mixed with a hint of whistling, and striking towards the surroundings. Suddenly, Ju Douluo and Gue Douluo felt as if they had been struck by lightning and were in excruciating pain. At the same time, their soul power began to become disorganized, and even their spirits were severely damaged. My whole body stiffened, and my movements became slow, even almost unable to move. Qin Zhao's sword immortal martial soul can burst out with thunderous roars, and can also attack the soul master's physical body in all directions, causing fluctuations in both soul power and soul. My whole body was briefly paralyzed, and then I waited to die. Bang! The 2 titled Douluo can no longer move. Qin Zhao quickly rushed forward and then slammed down with a stick. Ju Douluo let out a scream, his head exploding and his flesh and blood blurring. Ah! Qin Zhao hit Gue Douluo's back with another stick, and his spine was instantly broken by Qin Zhao. Chrysanthemum Douluo and Ghost Douluo were almost defeated in the blink of an eye. Stop it for me! At this moment, a roar sounded from a distance. I saw 3 people flying over quickly. The leader was dressed in a black robe and held a Haotian hammer in his hand, exuding a majestic aura. Upon closer inspection, all 3 of them are titled Douluo. Tang Wei. Qin Zhao stared at it, his face expressionless. You are the sword immortal Douluo. Tang Wei's face was calm as he held the Haotian hammer, revealing all 9 soul rings. Although he did not have 100,000-year soul ring, it should not be underestimated. Among the many titled Douluo, they all rank among the top. Qin Shao ignored and raised the towering pillar, smashing Ju Douluo and Gue Douluo fiercely. Ah! Another scream came from Ju Douluo's mouth. With such a blow, the extremely strong vitality of Chrysanthemum Douluo is now on the brink of death. Tang Wei angrily said, "Seek death." Tang Wei and 2 other titled Douluo elders rushed straight towards Qin Shao. The 7th soul skill, the true body of the weapon soul. 3 titled Douluo suddenly unleashed all their strength. Just because they saw the tragic situation of Ju Douluo and Gue Douluo, they naturally became wary of Qin Shao and dared not underestimate him. The 7th soul skill, Sword Immortal's true body. Qin Shao remained calm and collected his martial soul. Immediately, a huge virtual shadow of his martial soul rose behind him, filled with a terrifying aura, crushing the 3 people in front of him. Seeing this, Tang Wei and the 2 elders looked shocked. Run quickly. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. What kind of monster is this guy? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. What kind of monster is this guy? The vast and majestic aura enveloped the 3 of them like mountains and seas. Under Tang Wei's raging anger, Ju Douluo and Gue Douluo wished to disappear in place immediately. However, they find it difficult to achieve. Qin Shao's Sword Immortal True Body is a particularly powerful soul skill. Once activated, as long as Qin Shao is willing, otherwise even if he doesn't die, he will be disabled. Moreover, the true body of the martial soul is 10,000 meters high, which is something that can be easily overcome. As the martial souls rolled down from the sky to the ground, Ju Douluo and Gue Douluo also began to fight fiercely. Not only because Tang Wei is right next to him, but if there is anything good or bad about Tang Hao, he may be provoked. But the top priority is to resist Qin Zhao's attack, otherwise they will definitely lose their lives. Suddenly, the 2 of them let out a loud roar. I saw a huge phantom rising from behind Chrysanthemum Douluo, towering over 100 feet high, and black scales and armor suddenly appeared. And Douluo was even more sinister, as he was seen shining all over and gradually merging with Douluo. Soul power began to burn fiercely, and Qin Zhao's expression also became playful. The bipolar forbidden realm. Did it come out so quickly? Coincidentally, I also want to see some fusion soul skills. Qin Zhao's lips curved with a playful smile, and as he looked at the 2 people in front of him, he quickly felt a resistance emerging. This is the power of integrating soul skills, which can prohibit enemy actions, block the activation of soul skills, and turn into a battle of soul power consumption. And Tang Wei from afar is also rushing over quickly. With his joining, it is enough to turn the situation around. Ha ha ha, now I'll see how you can resist my bipolar forbidden realm. Ju Douluo laughed wildly. Qin Shao still smiled at the corners of his mouth and said nonchalantly, "Since that's the case, I'll give you a big gift too." Boom boom. The void suddenly transformed into a dark night, and in the next moment, a thunderbolt flashed through. Clusters of black clouds instantly covered the sky, as if the end had arrived. This sudden change made Ayin Jiao's body tremble. She looked up at the sky in surprise, and then looked at Qin Shao with a worried expression. And the smile on Qin Zhao's face deepened a bit. He stepped on the ground with his foot and flew out, striking with a punch. Roaming and rumbling in an instant, a thunderbolt descended. Click. The massive thunder struck into the black cloud, and in the next moment, countless delicate thunder snakes surged forward. Qin Shao extended his right palm, and suddenly thunderbolts appeared, gathering in his palm. Destroy. Qin Shao held a huge lightning ball in his palm, which fell like a meteorite and attacked the 3 of Ju Douluo. Bang, bang, bang. Thunder roared and echoed through the sky and earth, illuminating the entire night sky with dazzling white light. Seeing this, the three of Douluo couldn't help but widen their eyes, filled with shock and despair. What is this thing again? Lightning churned like a swimming dragon, intending to engulf them. Why can he still use soul skills? How could that be so? Seeing this scene, Tang Wei was very suspicious in his heart. It was clear that he was all-titled Douluo. Why did he have such strong strength? These thunderbolts were so terrifying that he suddenly felt both liver and gallbladder cold. The lightning in the sky finally stopped and revealed the scene in the audience. Chrysanthemum Douluo and Ghost Douluo were directly bombed into coke and suffered heavy damage. And Tang Hao also had tattered clothes, spitting blood from his mouth, and his right arm was cut off, which was quite embarrassing. How could this be so? Seeing the desolation of several people, Tang Wei was stunned and couldn't believe the situation. How terrifying is this person's soul skill? Another place, Ayin, was also stunned, all of which went beyond her understanding and shocked her. Qin Shao. Ayin murmured softly, her heart trembling with excitement. She already had a good impression of Qin Shao, but now he is still risking everything to save himself, showing extremely strong strength even if the body is the Blue Silver Emperor. Ayin has a feeling of excitement at this moment. Looking at the handsome figure standing tall like a mountain, she unconsciously became mesmerized. How could you ignore our fusion soul skill? How on earth did you do it? Chrysanthemum Douluo wiped away the blood from the corner of his mouth, struggled to get up, and stared at Qin Shao with shock in his eyes. The explosion just now was not enough to kill him, but it also severely damaged his morale. He has never seen such a monster before. And the Ghost Douluo on the side was even more miserable. His chest sank directly and his entire face twisted together. Now lying on the ground, even a slight movement is very difficult. At this moment, he struggled up, stood up with his hands propped up, and remained silent. I said, today, I will definitely take your dog's life. Qin Shao had a faint smile on his face, watching as Douluo slowly walked forward. You, don't come over. I'm warning you, you can't kill me. Douluo trembled all over, retreated repeatedly, and pressed his back against a rock wall. Do you want to kill me? Oh, I want to see if you can kill me. Douluo roared lightly, grabbing Tang Hao who had already fainted on the side and throwing him at Qin Shao with all his might. Tang Hao. Dare to touch my son. I'll kill you. Tang Wei, who was about to rush to the side of a few people, was furious at this situation. His own son was kidnapped by them, and he was thrown out like an object at will. If he ignored it, wouldn't it make other sects laugh? For this, Tang Wei gritted his teeth fiercely, lifted his palm and blasted it out, a red-hot flame transforming into a wandering dragon and charging towards Qin Shao. Brother Shao! Ayin exclaimed in surprise, feeling extremely frightened and worried that Qin Shao might be killed or defeated. After all, Tang Wei is a renowned title Douluo with strong strength. And Qin Shao has just gone through a battle, so he may not be able to resist it. This attack was unreserved by Tang Wei, as the fiery dragon roared away, carrying an endless sense of killing. Humph! Faced with Tang Wei's blow, Qin Shao let out a cold snort and his figure flashed, avoiding the impact of Yulong. Boom! Yulong roared on the ground, shattering the sky with dust. Seeing this scene, Douluo and Douluo on the other side silently exchanged a glance, and then ran away. They knew very well that this blow could not kill Qin Shao, and continuing to fight would be of no use, it was just a waste of time. It's better to leave quickly while Tang Wei is entangled. In fact, they really regret it now. If I had known it would be like this, they wouldn't have come over no matter what they say. When has the title Douluo of the Hall of Martial Soul been so embarrassed? Want to escape? Can you escape? Qin Shao chuckled lightly, ignoring Tang Wei. His right palm swept away and pressed down from the air. In an instant, a huge palm print appeared in the air and suddenly pressed down on the two of Douluo. How dare you take action against him and want to escape like this without paying any price? Don't even think about it. No. Chrysanthemum Douluo's face was shocked, and a breath of death enveloped her whole body. A huge force crushed him, causing him to breathe and leaving him completely defenseless. This palm print is too big, covering all around and falling fiercely like a blanket. Damn it! What kind of monster is this guy? Chrysanthemum Douluo roared, his soul power burning as if to resist desperately. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Only Haotian Sect, I don't deserve to be afraid. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Only Haotian Sect, I don't deserve to be afraid. However, with just a slight pinch, the big hand instantly shattered his shield and then pressed it down. With two muffled bangs, Douluo and his companions were immediately crushed to the ground, with one head deeply immersed in the soil and the other shoulder flattened. Poochie. Chrysanthemum Douluo fiercely spurted out a mouthful of blood, his eyes full of unwillingness. He couldn't understand why Qin Shao was so powerful. He didn't have the strength that a title Douluo level should have. Douluo also looked fearful and quickly retreated, watching Qin Shao slowly walk forward. What do you want to do? If you dare to kill me, aren't you afraid of being retaliated by the Martial Soul Hall? Douluo's tone trembled with fear. He didn't expect Qin Shao to be so difficult to deal with, even the title Douluo was like an ant in front of him. Qin Shao looked at him coldly and said, "This world is inherently a world of the fittest. Either you kill me or I kill you. If you dare to take action, then be prepared for death. Your Excellency, let's call it a day." Tang Wei, who had already settled in Tang Hao, walked over and said with a complex expression. In this confrontation, he also realized the terrifying aspect of Qin Shao. With just one move, Douluo and Douluo were seriously injured, and they were also titled Douluo level experts. Is that all for now? Oh, what if I don't? Qin Shao chuckled lightly, and with a slight stroke of his finger, countless small sword edges suddenly stabbed at Tang Wei. The 8th soul skill, 10,000 swords facing the sky. At that moment, Tang Wei's heart was startled, and his soul power was running wildly, gathering a golden barrier in front of him. Ding ding ding. The sword rushed against the golden barrier, emitting a crisp collision sound and sparks splashing everywhere. But Tang Wei's face still changed greatly. The power of this sword is too strong, it has been shaking his whole body in pain. It's been a long time since he fought, why can he still easily display the soul skill of the title Douluo level? Didn't it consume anything? Tang Wei's face turned even whiter. Although he is a title Douluo, he still dare not take it lightly when facing the formidable enemy in front of him. Are you really planning to fight me to the end? Don't forget, behind me is the Haotian Sect. And they are also from the Martial Soul Hall. What will happen if you offend our two major forces? I believe you know. If you let go of the three of them now, I will pretend that nothing has happened and will never reveal a word, nor will I trouble you. Tang Wei put forward the condition. Upon hearing these words, Qin Shao couldn't help but squint his eyes. He turned his head to look at Ayin, who looked worried, and suddenly chuckled lightly. It's really troublesome. With the strength of both of you, ordinary people dare not offend you casually. Upon hearing these words, Douluo and Douluo breathed a sigh of relief and finally saved their lives. However, what Qin Shao said the next second instantly tightened their hearts and made them afraid again. Just then, the man, who looked like a heavenly god, suddenly showed a hint of mockery and said calmly, "But that's why it's even more interesting, isn't it? Besides, you're about to die." As the words fell, Qin Shao took a step out and instantly crossed 100 meters to reach Tang Wei. Get out! Tang Wei roared angrily and punched out, the second soul skill, Flying Fire Meteor. The next moment, a burst of sparks appeared, instantly like a meteorite shower, densely falling towards Qin Shao. Every spark is enveloped in extreme heat, like a volcanic eruption that burns everything and destroys the sky. These sparks keep exploding and turning into an endless sea of flames. Qin Shao snorted lightly and looked up at the sea of flames falling from the sky, but he was completely fearless. He extended his right hand and clenched it into a fist. Give it a punch. This is the most basic and ordinary boxing technique, but currently, it has the power to destroy heaven and earth. The punch force surged up to the sky, like an ancient giant waving an iron hammer, sweeping across the six harmonies. Bang bang. The surrounding sea of fire was instantly shattered, turning into a shower of light and rain. One punch, 10,000 stars fall. All of this happened too quickly, and before Douluo and his companions could react, they were affected. A sharp pain suddenly came from their bodies, causing them immense pain. Immediately after, their chests sank, their blood surged, their liver and gallbladder split, and their muscles and bones shattered. The two of them flew backwards and landed heavily on the ground, their lives hanging on end. Hiss. Seeing this, Ayin couldn't help but take a cold breath. She knew Qin Shao was very strong, but she didn't expect him to be so strong. She was truly shocked by the impressive performance of three opponents of the same rank in a row, and couldn't believe that Qin Shao would be so powerful. However, Tang was not panicked because this was just his second soul skill and his power was not top-notch. It is also enough to defeat the ordinary title Douluo. Tang cursed in his heart, Qin Shao's strength is too strong, he doesn't give himself a chance to survive at all. At this point, he was at a loss. If Qin Shao insisted on killing the two Douluo, he could not stop them, and they were now seriously injured and had lost their ability to move. As for himself, although he was slightly injured, dealing with Qin Shao, an unknown person, may not be a big problem. Your Excellency still refuses to spare them. I believe you know that you have offended my Haotian Sect's fate. Tang Wei's eyes were cold and he warned coldly. If they provoke such top-level forces, it will definitely be detrimental to Qin Shao's future development. Unexpectedly, Qin Shao burst out laughing and mocked, "It's just Haotian Sect, why am I afraid of it?" Upon hearing these words, Tang Weidun felt a little angry. But he didn't directly take action, but instead pondered. He knew in his heart that Qin Shao had the qualification to be arrogant, otherwise he would have been beaten to the ground by Douluo and Douluo just now. How could he still stand here? He also knows that he may be going down in history today. Title Douluo, a well-known powerhouse in the mainland, was defeated by an unknown young man and was quite embarrassed. If this matter were to be spread, it would definitely make everyone laugh. But he has no other choice. At this moment, he can only spare his life and give it his all, otherwise he will die. The people of Haotian Sect are not worthy of being called strong. You are just a group of worms, afraid of the strong and bullying the weak, just bullying others with your might. Qin Shao spoke coldly and stared at Tang Wei with a cold gaze. If there are any more moves, let's use them all, otherwise we won't have a chance later. Tang Wei's expression was unpredictable, and Qin Shao's strength far exceeded his expectations. He knew very well in his heart that if he didn't show the ability to suppress the bottom of the box again, he would definitely die here today. His face turned cold and he shouted loudly, "The eighth soul skill. Haotian Town Prison." Buzz, in an instant, the entire space trembled twice, and soon a strange energy filled the air, suddenly rising an invisible force that covered everyone present. Prohibition. Qin Shao was slightly startled in his heart, this power was incredibly mysterious and filled with a dangerous aura. At this moment, he felt that his internal strength seemed to be constrained, and both attack and defense would be limited. Haotian Town Prison is one of the top soul skills of Haotian Sect, with extremely powerful power. You want to break it just by yourself. Haotian Town Prison was created by the ancestors of Haotian Sect, and it contains profound mysteries, making it an extremely powerful soul skill. It not only possesses strong power, but also has many mysterious and eerie effects. Qin Shao frowned lightly, and he also noticed that there seemed to be some mysterious and terrifying power added to his body. Boom boom. However, Qin Shao just sneered and said, "You're really noisy." The words fell to the ground, and he quickly took action. Qin Shao spread his arms and jumped up directly, stepping on the void like stepping on a wave of water. He flew out and crossed a distance of several meters in an instant, punching down. Bang! This punch hit the heavy defense barrier fiercely, causing a dull roar. Immediately after, a burst of golden light appeared on Qin Shao's fist. The rock-solid defense barrier was instantly shattered by this punch, covered in cracks. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Terror Black Mist. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8 Terror Black Mist. Seeing this scene, Tang Weiduan's pupils tightened. He never expected that Qin Shao could easily break through Haotian town prison with just one punch. How could it be like this? At the next moment, Qin Shao suddenly disappeared in place, and when he reappeared, he was already approaching Tang Wei. Tang Wei's heart trembled and he quickly raised his hand to resist, while a layer of scales appeared on his arm. However, Tang Wei underestimated Qin Shao's punch and saw that it instantly shattered the scales on his arm, causing his arm to tear apart. He was beaten back and forth, fiercely hitting the rock wall. Tang Wei was greatly shocked in his heart. Qin Shao's strength was really too strong. He felt that even if he used the most powerful killing move, he still had no way to deal with the opponent. Is it possible that he is already the pinnacle of Douluo? How could it be? Tang Wei was extremely shocked. He felt both fear and anger in his heart. This Qin Shao is too arrogant to dare to humiliate him like this. No matter who you are doomed. Tang Wei shouted angrily, and suddenly a green flame burst out from his body. Tang Wei rose into the air, his fingers curved, and suddenly pointed out. Shoo shoo. Countless sharp edges swept out, piercing through the air and piercing through the surrounding rock walls like arrows. In a moment, Mars splashed. Qin Shao's fist flickered with a blue light, and he punched out one after another. Every time, accurately smashed those sharp arrows that fly in. Although Tang Wei's attack was very powerful and could penetrate even the rock wall, it still couldn't get close to Qin Shao's body. In this way, the scene seems a bit comical. How could it be? Tang Wei was completely dumbfounded, never expecting Qin Shao's strength to be so strong. And he was also surprised to notice that his soul skills were being gradually disintegrated by Qin Shao. Soon, Tang Wei discovered that Qin Shao's fist was carrying a terrifying force that could restrain his soul skills. At this moment, Qin Shao's indifferent voice came. This move of Haotian town prison is indeed good, but it is completely useless to me. A wicked smile curved from the corner of his mouth, and as he stepped out, he kicked hard. Crack. Tang Wei let out a painful cry, and was kicked so hard that his ribs broke, spraying out a mouthful of blood and flying backwards. Bang. He fell heavily to the ground, struggled twice, and found that he couldn't stand up. Surprisingly. What exactly do you want? Tang Wei struggled to lift his head and glared fiercely at Qin Shao. He felt pain all over his body, his chest and abdomen surged, his throat rolled, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Qin Shao let out a soft snort and slowly approached Tang Wei. He crouched down and sneered, "I just said it, you will die soon. Do you dare to kill me?" Tang Wei's face turned pale as he trembled and said. Qin Shao raised his eyebrows and said coldly, "Why dare you? What if I kill you? Haotian Sect can't do anything about me." For a moment, Tang Wei really panicked. Judging from Qin Shao's appearance, he really dared to kill himself and didn't take Haotian Sect seriously. Haotian Sect is the first sect in the world. If you dare to kill me, Haotian Sect will definitely not let you go, and you will die unsightly. Oh, really? Qin Zhao's lips slowly burst into a wicked smile, then extended his right palm and grabbed Tang Wei's head. What do you want to do? Don't come over. Tang Wei exclaimed in fear, you can't kill me, otherwise you will be enemies with Haotian Sect. At a rare moment, a strange black mist suddenly emerged. Qin Zhao's right palm was only 1 inch away from Tang Wei's head and could not continue downward. Seeing this, Tang Wei secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Just now, he felt the deadly danger, as if he would die at any moment under Qin Zhao's command. Black mist. Qin Zhao turned his eyes and scanned the surroundings, then found that Tang Wei had an extra black sword in his hand that was completely pitch black at some point. I saw that the body of the black sword was wrapped in strands of dark flowing light, wriggling like a living creature, exuding a mysterious and gloomy aura. You, don't come over. Tang Wei retreated in fear, trembling uncontrollably. He knew in his heart that Qin Zhao would definitely dare to kill him. Haotian Sect. Qin Zhao's eyes were filled with coldness. He stood up, glanced at Tang Wei, and sneered disdainfully, I thought that as the first sect, your Haotian Sect should have some style, but unfortunately, I look up to you so much that you are not worthy of being discussed with me. What kind of thing is Haotian Sect? In my opinion, it's just an ant. Upon hearing this, Tang Wei was so angry that he almost spat out a mouthful of old blood. But he still overcame his anger with reason and dared not provoke the other party. You're great. Tang Wei wiped away the blood from the corner of his mouth and forced a smile. Although your talent is excellent, unfortunately you don't understand the path of cultivation at all. I advise you, Haotian Sect is not easy to deal with. You can look down on it, but it's best not to underestimate it. The words fell to the ground, and a dazzling light burst out. Qin Zhao instinctively raised his hand to block his eyes, and then thought of something and slapped it out. The vast soul power hit Tang Wei's position, but it didn't hit anything. Opening his eyes again, Tang Wei had already disappeared. Qin Zhao's eyes turned cold and he whispered, Phantom. Just now, Tang Wei transformed into a hazy phantom and fled from Qin Zhao's face. This surprised Qin Zhao very much, only because Tang Wei's speed was too fast, so fast that he could evade his investigation. Note that his senses are extremely sensitive. Once he targets a target, no matter how much the other person avoids, he cannot escape his pursuit, let alone people like Tang Wei who are seriously injured. Hee. This Haotian Sect really has something, and... Qin Xiaoshu squinted his eyes and thought to himself, this black mist emits a very evil aura. That black sword must be strange. Although Tang Wei was nowhere to be found, the still lingering black mist still left Qin Xiao standing in place, lost in deep thought. Haotian Sect. An evil aura. Qin Xiao murmured softly, then shook his head slightly. Although he is in Douluo continent and understands the direction of the plot, a real world clearly cannot be thought of using conventional logic, and there will always be unexpected changes. For example, Tang Hao's personality in his arrival. The established orbit has changed, who knows what will happen. After thinking for a while, Qin Xiao set aside his distractions and focused on the present moment. Boom! Suddenly, there was a dull thunder in the void, and rainstorm poured down. The sky suddenly became dim. Qin Xiao looked up at the void and his face changed. He suddenly realized that deep within his soul, there was a strange wave brewing. What's the situation? Qin Xiao was slightly surprised. In his perception, there was nothing strange about this area except for the darkness. He looked around and finally found out where the problem was. It's that black mist. Qin Xiao opened his eyes impressively. Qin Xiao was shocked to find that the black mist released by Tang Wei was actually absorbing the power of his essence soul. Qin Xiao's eyes became gloomy. He found that the black mist contained a strange and mysterious power, constantly absorbing the power of his soul. And Tang Hao, sitting in that black mist. What are you doing? Qin Zhao's eyes became even colder as he took a step towards Tang Hao. Tang Hao's lips turned white and he looked at Qin Zhao with a terrifying expression on his face, quickly moving his body. However, the black mist around him hindered his movement. End of this chapter. Chapter 9, You Wait for the Revenge of Haotian Sect. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9, You Wait for the Revenge of Haotian Sect. You, don't come over. I am the core disciple of Haotian Sect. If you dare to touch me, my grandfather will never let you go. Tang Hao shouted in terror, feeling extremely frustrated. He hated Qin Zhao to death, but was also very afraid. Because his father Tang Wei was beaten away by Qin Zhao, and he is not a match for Qin Zhao. I warn you, let me go quickly, otherwise you will definitely regret it. Tang Hao roared. Qin Zhao chuckled lightly and said nonchalantly, let you go. Isn't letting you go like letting a tiger go back to the mountains and facing endless troubles in the future? How dare you? Tang Hao was already scared beyond measure and shouted loudly, I am the legitimate lineage of Haotian Sect. If you dare to touch me, you must die. Qin Zhao shook his head and said, there's so much nonsense. Be honest and come back with me. He extended his right hand, gathered his soul power, and turned into a giant hand, grabbing Tang Hao in his hand. No. Let go of me. You let go of me. Tang Hao shouted frantically, struggling desperately. But Qin Zhao's giant hand tightly imprisoned him, making it difficult for him to break free. Dog shreds. I, the Haotian Sect's title Douluo, will definitely kill you and cut you to pieces. Tang Hao roared angrily. Qin Zhao sneered and said, what is Haotian Sect? He deserves to threaten me too. I don't have much patience. If you keep yelling loudly, believe it or not, I'll just throw you down and feed the dog. Qin Zhao said coldly. Upon hearing these words, Tang Hao indeed calmed down, but his face was filled with resentment and hatred. But he dare not provoke Qin Zhao again. He knew very well that he couldn't even defeat Qin Zhao and couldn't even escape. And not far away, Zhu Douluo and Gue Douluo both had ugly faces. Just now they thought they had a chance to escape, but they were defeated in the blink of an eye. For a moment, Zhu Douluo and Gue Douluo blushed and their ears turned red. Two major titles Douluo, surprisingly defeated by a young man. And that guy solved them in just a moment. Shame, it's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. Kid, you are already enemies with the Haotian Sect. If not as I expected, the leader of the Haotian Sect is already on his way. I advise you to let us go, otherwise no one will be able to save you at that time. Gue Douluo stared at Qin Zhao with a gloomy expression in his eyes. Qin Zhao snorted coldly, lazy to pay attention to them, but continued to sit cross-legged in the void. Now he realized that his soul power was rapidly losing, and couldn't help but frown. This black mist is really strange, it can absorb the power of his soul. It seems that this world is really strange, very different from the original work. We need to be careful and cautious, Qin Zhao thought to himself, and then began to mobilize his soul power to resist this erosion. His physical body has already reached the peak level of the title Douluo, and his soul power is increasing day by day. But being so eroded by the black mist stopped the increase in his soul power and made it impossible to move forward. This made Qin Zhao feel very suspicious in his heart. This black mist can even erase my soul power. Qin Zhao sensed the abnormality in his soul ring and felt a chilling sensation. This soul ring is the core of a person, and if it breaks or is destroyed, its strength will significantly decrease. In addition to being shocked, Qin Zhao also understood why Tang Wei would escape with peace of mind and not be afraid of being pursued by himself. Because he had anticipated that he would definitely be entangled in this strange black mist. But Qin Zhao is completely fearless. Soul power is a wonderful power that blends with soul rings to form a special power that surpasses physical reality. This kind of power is very powerful, also very domineering, and even more mysterious. Qin Shao felt that even if his soul power was really severely damaged, he could still recover. However, this requires time and some medicinal materials to assist. However, he also discovered the strangeness of this black mist. It can devour soul power and enhance itself. And this also leads to its rapid enhancement, to an astonishing extent. We can't continue like this anymore, we must solve it as soon as possible. Qin Shao looked coldly at Tang Hao in his hand, and thoughts turned in his heart. At this moment, Tang Hao was trembling like a sieve, with a ghostly expression on his face. How could he still maintain his usual arrogance? Damn it, take away your dirty hands. If you dare to take action against me, my Haotian Sect will definitely not let you go. Tang Hao began to shout again, and was even more frightened, with a runny nose and tears in his eyes, feeling extremely embarrassed. Qin Shao sneered with disdain, this kid is completely useless. Just as he raised his hand and was about to slap Tang Hao unconscious, he heard Tang Hao crying and begging for mercy, "Ah! No! Don't kill me! Please! Please don't kill me!" Qin Shao was slightly taken aback and immediately sneered, "What about your previous arrogance? You know you're begging me now. Why did you go earlier? Begging for mercy now. It's too late." As the words fell, a vast soul power flew out of his body and poured into his right palm, gradually solidifying into a fist print. In the next moment, Qin Shao didn't hesitate to smash it towards Tang Hao. On top of this fist, there is still a golden flame, like a raging fire, mixed with scorching heat, possessing terrifying destructive power, capable of destroying heaven and earth. Bang! Tang Hao couldn't dodge at all and was directly blasted off, breaking a branch and falling to the ground with great force. Cough! He suddenly spewed out a mouthful of blood, his whole body scorched black, and his clothes were burned to pieces. "Bastard, how dare you hurt me like this?" Tang Hao struggled up and stared at Qin Shao with a fierce expression. Qin Shao walked towards him calmly and said, "So what if I hurt you? You wait, Haotian Sect will definitely not spare you. You just wait for Haotian Sect's revenge." Tang Hao shouted crazily, his gaze fierce. Pop! He was slapped hard again and flew away, feeling dizzy and his eyes lit up. "You useless person, why don't you shout again?" Qin Shao said coldly. Tang Hao was dumbfounded by this slap in the face. He never expected that this young man, who was even younger than him, would be so violent. "Woo-woo! Woo-woo!" Tang Hao cried directly, his nose and tears all sticking to his face. He is so big that he has never seen a fierce person like Qin Shao before, completely unreasonable. All these changes happened in the blink of an eye, so fast that no one could react. Chrysanthemum Douluo and Ghost Douluo were also stunned. "This guy is too brave, isn't he? Are you unwilling to give up? You're so brave." Qin Shao stared coldly at Tang Hao, with a murderous intent in his heart. This kid is like a time bomb that will detonate sooner or later if he doesn't take it out for a day. But before that Qin Shao couldn't help but raise his eyebrows, as he seemed to notice that Gue Douluo and Ju Douluo were unwilling to be captured. From just now until now, they have been looking for opportunities to escape. Although I can't figure out the origin of these black mist for now, it's okay to do an experiment. It's still easy to control the direction they extend a little. After speaking, Qin Shao lifted his right palm, and waves of majestic black mist instantly condensed. "Oh no!" Chrysanthemum Douluo exclaimed in surprise and quickly fled towards the distance. Qin Shao chuckled lightly, pointed it out, and a black mist turned into a long spear, flying out. Shoo! The black mist spear instantly pierced through Chrysanthemum Douluo's chest. "Ah! Douluo widened his eyes with a look of unwillingness, fear, and hatred, and fell to the ground fiercely. What about you? Qin Shao turned to look at Douluo. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Tang Chen. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chapter 10. Tang Chen. Douluo trembled and trembled, both shocked and angry. If you dare to kill me, the Martial Soul Hall will never let you go. Martial Soul Hall. Qin Shao sneered, just a Martial Soul Hall. Do you think I'll take it seriously? I am the elder of the Martial Soul Hall. Douluo shouted in fear, if you dare to touch the people of the Martial Soul Hall, the Temple Master will definitely not easily spare you. Hee. Qin Shao didn't care at all and sneered, so what? Do you think I dare not kill you? Qin Shao's words fell, and the black mist around him suddenly became thick. Quickly, the black mist surged and enveloped the ghost Douluo in an instant. No. Ghost Douluo let out a mournful scream. He tried his best to rush out, but to no avail. The black mist completely covered the area for several hundred meters, enveloping ghost Douluo and preventing him from moving. Douluo resisted vigorously, constantly waving his hands. His arms changed for a moment, and with each bombardment, a sword aura swept out and landed on the black mist, shooting out rolling black smoke. However, despite this, it still has no use. In an instant, Douluo suddenly stiffened and knelt on the ground, spitting blood from his mouth and his breath becoming increasingly weak. Can't even the two-titled Douluo resist these black fogs? What exactly are these black fogs? It doesn't seem right either, maybe it's because they were severely injured. After pondering for a while, Qin Shao turned to look at the two struggling on the ground. He shook his head slightly and let out a light sigh. Well, I don't want to bother with you so much. These black fogs have lost their soul power and may disappear soon. It's possible that they are already dissipating. The words fell to the ground, and a sudden rain of swords descended from the sky, with a cold light rising everywhere, intending to completely kill a few people. Boom! Suddenly, there was a thunderous sound in the distance, followed by a black cloud that quickly flew over. Qin Shao frowned and looked at the rolling thunder flickering and churning in the black clouds, as if it contained the power of destroying heaven and earth, and a wave of pressure hit his face. Before long, the black cloud rushed towards Qin Shao's side. Crack! Thunder erupted, with countless lightning bolts piercing through the sky, deafening and crashing onto sword rain. In an instant, everything around was illuminated, and the night was as bright as day. Qin Shao gazed slightly, showing a hint of suspicion. Those lightning bolts didn't actually attack themselves, and it seems like it's still devouring those black mist. What's going on? Qin Shao murmured in surprise. Is it possible that those black mist are related to lightning? These lightning bolts seem to have some kind of spirituality, devouring the evil power contained in the black mist, causing them to gradually decrease. No, these black mist cannot stay. Qin Shao's deep eyes lit up with a fierce light, and his killing intent surged everywhere. This kind of strange and full of evil energy cannot be preserved in the world. He took a step out and instantly came to Tang Hao's side, slapping him with a palm. With this palm, a tremendous soul power was gathered, and its power was incredibly terrifying. It knocked Tang Hao away and landed in the distant forest, making a loud noise. However, in the next moment, Tang Hao not only did not break to pieces, but also landed very smoothly on the ground. I saw an old man who appeared behind Tang Hao at some point and reached out to help him. Grandpa. You can count it. It's this guy who dares to attack me. You must cut him 1,000 times to avenge your grandson. Tang Hao respectfully said to the old man, while his gaze at Qin Shao was even more sinister. Qin Shao couldn't help but raise his eyebrows slightly and look at the old man in front of him. He has white hair, deep wrinkles on his face, cloudy eyes, and a hunched figure, like an old man in his twilight years. What a strong aura this old man has. Qin Zhao's eyes narrowed slightly. Youngster, what is your name? Where do you come from? The old man asked calmly, with a slightly strange tone. Senior, my name is Qin Zhao. Qin Zhao pondered for a moment and said his name. Upon hearing this, Tang Chen shook his head slowly and said, You're just an unknown little character. How dare you harm Hao? As he spoke, he lifted his arm like a withered tree and attacked Qin Zhao's chest. Seeing this, Qin Zhao's heart suddenly jumped and he quickly dodged the old man's palm. Oh! The old man looked at Qin Zhao in surprise. I didn't expect his reaction to be quite quick. Humph! Qin Zhao snorted coldly, his eyes cold as ice as he looked at the old man. He found that the old man had not used any very powerful moves, but he felt a subtle pressure locking him in. This feeling made him extremely uncomfortable. Old man, what do you mean by this? Qin Zhao asked in a cold tone. Hee. The old man chuckled without explaining, but turned his head to look at Tang Hao and said, Hao, you go treat your injury first, and leave the rest to Grandpa. Upon hearing this, Tang Hao quickly got up and retreated behind the old man, staring fiercely at Qin Zhao. Seeing this, Qin Zhao couldn't help frowning and thought to himself, Tang Hao's grandfather. Why does he look a bit strange? At this moment, Douluo on the other side also stood up, covering his chest and coughing for a while, staring at Qin Zhao with hatred in his eyes. Kid! You're done this time. Master Tang Chen is the 95th level peak Douluo. Dealing with you is simply not too easy. Qin Zhao gave him a cold glance, showing a mocking expression, and sneered, Are you sure? Why don't you believe it? Douluo chuckled, When you fall into the hands of Lord Tang Chen, you will know how strong his strength is. Oh, really? Qin Zhao pouted nonchalantly and said, Then give it a try. The old man squinted his eyes and looked at Qin Zhao before suddenly asking, Are you really not afraid of death? Don't you think your question is ridiculous? Who is not afraid of death? Are you an old man? Qin Zhao became impatient, but the question is, can you kill me? After pondering for a long time, the old man suddenly burst out laughing and said in a low voice, Since that's the case, you go. Let's call it a day. Oh. Qin Zhao was slightly stunned and said, Do you want me to leave? It's impossible, unless. Unless there is anything, if you have any conditions, feel free to ask, the old man said calmly. Qin Zhao's eyes turned slightly and he grinned as he looked at him, saying, Unless I let your grandson Tang Hao's hands and feet be ruined, then this matter will come to an end. Ha ha ha. The old man chuckled angrily, What a little devil who has made progress, how dare he threaten me? Upon hearing this, Qin Zhao shrugged nonchalantly and said, Whatever you understand, after all, there won't be a good end to fighting me against you. Humph, yellow-mouthed child, surprisingly so arrogant. Don't forget, my strength is above yours. If I want to kill you, it's as simple as stepping on an ant. The old man spoke calmly, and a chill surged in his cloudy eyes, his killing intent suddenly passing by. Do you dare to touch me? Qin Zhao chuckled and said, Why don't you talk about your reliance, otherwise? You are very intelligent, but you are too reckless. Didn't you realize that this place is a wilderness? After speaking, the old man suddenly chuckled inwardly. Qin Zhao raised his eyebrows lightly and said, Is that so? Suddenly. A golden flame suddenly rose, appearing particularly brilliant under the night sky, illuminating this world. The golden flames were raging wildly, scorching high temperatures, burning the water vapor, soil, trees, stones in the air. Everything around is gradually melting. End of this chapter.